What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of Club and Country. This is episode number 103, and we start today's stuff with the clash against Chelsea on the back of our win over PSG over 2 legs in the Champions League semi-final to put us through to our first ever Champions League final against Barcelona. Real briefly though, as you can see in today's episode, we're going to have 3 of the final 4 games, but before the third and the penultimate game of the season at home to Leicester, which is the final home game of the campaign, it's the FA Cup final against Crystal Palace. Now, what I'm going to do, and I've done this many times before, is I'm going to keep all of the FA Cup final footage until the next episode. So I've played it, but you won't see anything in today's episode. No spoilers whatsoever, and that'll be a standalone episode in the next one. I've got to be honest, since the FA Cup final was brought forward to before the Premier League finale, I've not been a fan, and I'm not a fan of that. And I think one of the main reasons why is because people talk about the diminishing reputation of the FA Cup, and I suppose domestic cups in particular, across major European leagues. To me, I've always, maybe I'm a traditionalist here, I don't know, but I've always felt as though the cup final should always be the final domestic game of the football calendar year. I don't know, maybe I'm old school, man, maybe I'm past it, maybe I'm behind the times, but to me, that's how I've always seen it should be, The FA Cup, I think in recent years, some people believe that it's lost its magic a little bit. I don't necessarily agree with that, but I do believe that the FA Cup final should be the final domestic game of this season, But even so, that's just me. Still, first game of 3 in today's episode, and after a stuttering run of form for Newport County. Back-to-back defeats in the Premier League for the first time all season on at home to Liverpool and then away at Arsenal, taking on Chelsea for our first domestic game in May on the back of our draw in Paris in the second leg of our Champions League semi-final that saw us through to the Champions League final 10-6, I think it was. Sorry, 10, no, 6, no, what, how was the score? 3, I can't do the maths. We won the tie, basically. But anyway, heading in to the game against Chelsea, we took the lead right before the break through Gavin Humphreys, 30th goal of the season, still chasing Gavin Humphreys to retain his golden boot with Timo Werner right alongside our dynamic duo as well. But whilst Chelsea would find their leveller right after the break, it was mostly all Newport County in this game. Had a whole host of chances. Price, to be fair, did make a couple of good saves in the first half, but in the second half in particular, after Chelsea got the leveller, it was all Newport County. Had loads and loads of chances. A couple of great saves here, kept the score at 1-1, and with 20 minutes to go, was pushing, was pressing, looking for that winner. Just couldn't find it. Final score, Rodney prayed. Newport County 1, Chelsea 1. Once again, the game in hand spurned, and 1 point from 9 in our last 3 Premier League games. 0 victories. It's safe to say I'm feeling the pressure. Thankfully, the good thing is that Man City are doing the same. They drew once again, a 1-1 draw, which means that the point gap remains the same and we still have the game in hand. 3 games to go. The gap is still 3 and we still got the game in hand. Bruno Lage's side went to the Etihad, claimed a point. That's a big, big boost for us because it could have been a 5-point gap with a game in hand, but instead it remains at 3. So despite the draw, it wasn't a disastrous result because the table does not change and the situation doesn't change. We still have the game in hand. Win it, we'll leapfrog Manchester City on goal difference. So second game of 3 in today's episode. Still at Rodney Parade. 3 of our final 4 games being in South Wales. Norwich City, 18th place, 3 games to go. Need to win this one really to go level on points with 17th place and only be in the relegation zone on goal difference. They needed the win as much as we did heading into this one, but after no wins in our last 3 Premier League games, after a stuttering run of form, just 2 wins in our last 6 in all competitions, heading into this game, I said, right, I've had enough of this, and 17 minutes into the game, we had the breakthrough. Super Gavin Humphreys, with no goals in his last 3 games, potentially spurned his chance to get into 40, says Gaffer, it's not over yet. Goal number 34 for the season, and we take the lead on the Canary. So I was thinking, okay, alright, recently I've been absolutely terrible. I'm the first to admit it. Yes, we've had some tough games. PSG back-to-back, Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, our last 3 Premier League games. But even so, you want to win the title, you got to beat the big boys, simple as that. So heading into this game, this was definitely the easiest fixture we've had in recent weeks. I had to capitalise on it with what was going to be the FA Cup final on the weekend, and of course our penultimate game of the season against a good Brendan Rodgers Leicester City team. Needed to win this game and level the points gap with Manchester City to being equal and only separated by goal difference. And in the first half an hour, well, let's just say, quiet in the last few games. First to a minute, Gavin Humphreys turning up bags of brace goals, 34 and 35 for this season. And I should have had a hat-trick for him in the first half as well, smacking this shot off the woodwork. How I missed that chance, the easiest of three, I do not know. But still leading by 2. And to be honest here, Norwich needed the win, but I was in complete control from the very first whistle. 2 minutes after the restart, still leading by 2. Looking for that third goal. Gavin sent down the right by Rabbi Matondo. Steps round one, heel to heel, flicks around another, and gets it right at the second time of asking. There it is, 3 minutes after restart, yet another hat-trick for Super Gavin Humphreys with goals 34, 35 and 36. And at this point I was thinking, well, there's no doubt about it now. I'm going to go level with Man City, leapfrog them in the table on the goal difference record, sorry, with 2 games to go, meaning beat Leicester and draw on the final day at the Etihad, and we'll be champions regardless of what Man City do in match day 37. And now I was thinking, okay, alright, FA Cup final on the weekend, time to take my starters off, which I did ahead of the clash against Crystal Palace at Wembley in the very next episode. And then Norwich got back in the game. Yeah, a couple minutes after I made all my big subs, they were back in it. El Bilal Toure makes it 3-1. I was thinking, am I going to regret Rue making those subs there when the game still had plenty of life remaining in it? Gap cut to 2 goals. Norwich back in it out of nowhere. But Gavin says, Gaffer, don't worry, because I'm still on the pitch and I've got this. Bangs in our and his 4th of the game. And goal 37 for the season. And then I was thinking, after no goals in his the last 3, the chance is surely gone for him to get to 40. But now, 3 in the remaining 2 and a bit games, it's definitely doable. With 3 minutes to go, the points were wrapped up, but the game was not done. There was still time for Gavin to get his 5th of the game. And for all the superstar performances he's had this season in his best of the save and throughout the course of the series, this is his best game of the series. 5 goals in the same game. Match ball, champagne, and the lead cut to goal difference and see us leapfrog Man City on that. Gavin Humphreys 5, Norwich City 1. Yep, 5 goals in the same game for Gavin. The first time in this FIFA where I've had a player score 5 goals in the same game. I had 4 before, but this is the first in FIFA 22 with 5. No surprise, it's Gavin who gets it. And as you can see what it means, as Timo Werner goes second ahead of Matondo, Gavin Humphreys, with 2 games to go, is 2 goals away from doing it. 2 goals away from joining the elusive 40 club, where only 2 players in my history of career mode have got there. Those names, Ivan Toney, the first to do it, and Samuel Belbel. But not trying to think about it too much, because for the penultimate game of the season, we dropped back to 2nd place. This game coming in midweek after Manchester City went to Anfield and recorded a massive win. I thought if they were going to drop points in the run-in, it was going to be away at Jurgen Klopp's side. Instead, the hardest game for them to play, they ended up winning it 2-1. Typical FIFA, right? So 2-1 away at Anfield, and that would mean for the penultimate game of the season, final home game of the campaign, Leicester City, Brendan Rodgers' side, Rodney Parade. We must win. Otherwise, on the final day, Manchester City just need to avoid defeat to be crowned champions. And it was the worst possible start. It's safe to say we've played a lot of football. Fatigue has been an issue. I'm buckling under the pressure of a poor run of form. Just 1 win in my last 4 Premier League games. And how do I start off our final home game this year? Terribly. 5 minutes in, Leicester in front. What a goal. Look at the bend on this ball. That was an AI on Ultimate Strike, that one there. Leicester in front, and they have the breakthrough inside the early 5 minutes. But Gavin says, Gaffer, do not worry one bit. 10 minutes in, it is goal 39 for the captain, and he's one away from joining the 40 club. But I was saying, Gav, don't even think about it, bro. I know you want it as much as I do and everyone else, but we got to win this title again, baby. That's most important. Retaining this championship and winning it back-to-back. And only a win will mean that heading into the final day, we'll be top. Otherwise, fail to win this one, and we'll have to win at the Etihad on the final day. So after we went behind, I was like, no, I'm not slipping up again. I've had 3 slip-ups in the last 4 games. I am not failing to win this one as well. And after our win against Norwich, the big 5-1, I knew I'd get more goals in this game. And after Mark Bound gave us the lead, momentum really changed after Gavin got our equalising goal. And I talk about how OP it is in FIFA. You know, Leicester started off getting the opening goal in the 5 minutes, but after we got the leveller, it was all Newport County. We could have gone 3-1 up 7 minutes after the restart. Gavin so close to goal number 49 as it was still 2-1. But a few minutes later, as Leicester attacked down the left-hand side here, Dewsbury Hall rolls it through to his man. Ruiz plays a 1-2 with the former Manchester United Academy graduate, and as you can see, the goal disallowed for offside. He's been taken out of the game now. Mason Greenwood, of course, I'll say his name. Right decision in my opinion as well, but for this goal here, ruled out for offside, and correctly so as well. So still leading by a goal in this one. 25 minutes to go as Greenwood denied the leveller for Leicester, and with 25 minutes on the clock after he surrenders possession, loses the ball, we come on the counter. Matondo rolls through Gavin. And guys, you've just witnessed a bit of Doc's history. Oh my goodness. When you talk about composure, that is composure personified. 22 minutes on the clock, and Gavin Humphreys bags the brace, but more significantly, has joined Ivan Toney and Samuel Bell in Doc's legend history as players that have scored 40 goals in a single season. Rounds Muller, leaves him on the floor, chips it into the unguarded net. What a cool way to get to 40 for the season. And whilst Leicester would battle back through Diego Goncalves and make it 3-2 with 14 minutes to go and put our position in jeopardy at the top of the table, fortunately, as you'll see, it proved to be nothing other than a consolation goal. A Gavin brace. It is 7 goals in 2 games. Now, out of nowhere, it is done. Gavin's 40-goal season happens with Newport County, and he joins Ivan Toney and Samuel Bell as a Doc's legend for 40-goal plus season players. And do you know what's funny? There's a game remaining, and you just never know. Final day of the Premier League season is away at the Etihad Stadium against Manchester City, where all we need is a point to be ground champions due to the goal difference being far superior to the chasing Guardiola Manchester City. But for Gavin Humphreys, he has a chance to become my all-time leading goal scorer in a single season if he scores on the final day. But do you know what? He's got to 40. That's more than good enough for me. He joins Toney and Bell. But before we play the final day, there's also the small matter of the FA Cup final. Crystal Palace in our first ever domestic cup final. Patrick Vieira's side at Wembley as we go for our first ever FA Cup of the save in what could be one of 3 as we chase the treble. But that will end today's episode of CNC, guys. Massive thank you for watching one of my favourite episodes of the series. Really hope you enjoyed. If you haven't, drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for the FA Cup final against Crystal Palace, chasing our first ever domestic cup and potentially the first of 3 trophies as we chase the treble as well very soon.